All right, in this video, we are going to learn how to make a spiral knot macrame bracelet. You are going to need hemp cord, tape, scissors, and then if you want to add beads to your bracelet, you can add beads if you'd like. So to start this bracelet, you're going to need 2 pieces of cord. I usually cut one about the length of my arm, and then I cut one 3 times the length of my arm. So that middle cord is basically as long as you want your project to be. So we're making a bracelet. It doesn't need to be that long. And the longer cords need to be 3 times the length of the first one. What you're going to do is you're going to find the center of each of the cords and you're going to fold them in half. It's a little hard to see in the shot right here, but you're basically just going to fold them in half, line up the ends for both the long piece and the short piece, and then you're going to place them together. So you're kind of holding the centers of each little cord, and it looks like a little loop. The next step that you're going to have to complete is you're going to have to tie just a simple knot where these 2 cords are folded. So you're basically tying them together. And this little loop knot is really simple, but I'll tie it a couple times in case it's confusing. I usually pinch the ends together and then simply wrap them around 2 of my fingers and sort of use my thumb to pinch them in place. That loop is going to go through where my fingers were. So I'm going to take the centers of the cords and put them through the loop that was around my fingers. And then I'm going to pull tight. As I'm tightening this knot, I want to be careful that the little loop at the end isn't super big or super small. I want it to be about the size of the tip of my pinky. That generally makes the most sense. If it's too big, your bracelet will fall off a lot. And if it's too small, you won't be able to close and open your bracelet. So I'm going to do this one more time. If you've totally got this, skip ahead a little bit. So again, I'll zoom in a little bit here. It might be a little bit too much. I'm going to start by finding those middles of the cords, putting them together. Here, let me zoom back out a bit here. And then I'm going to wrap those cords around my fingers, just my pointer finger and my middle finger, and use my thumb to hold that cord in place. And then I'm going to take those center pieces and put them through the loop that was around my fingers. So I take those center pieces, tuck them up through that loop, and as I pull them tight, I pay attention to the size of the loop that's left. So again, you want it about the size of the tip of your pinky. All right. So once that is tied and secured, you're going to tape the loop to the table, and you want it to be fairly secure. So you might have to use a couple pieces of tape just to make sure that the bracelet isn't continually popping off of the table. You should have 4 cords hanging down from the knot that you tied. 2 of them will be short, and 2 of them will be long. So you're going to kind of look through those cords, locate the 2 short cords, locate the 2 long cords. The 2 short cords are actually going to be in the center of your bracelet, and the 2 long cords are going to be off to the left and to the right. So place those short cords in the middle and the long cords to the left and to the right. To make this process a little bit easier, I would highly suggest taping down those short cords in the middle and then leaving the long cords on the right and the left free. When you do tape down the middle cords, make sure that the middle cords aren't so tight to the table that you can't put your finger underneath of them. So when you tape it, make sure there's a little bit of leeway and a little bit of space. So you're going to start with the cord on the right. This is called a knotting cord. Those are the long cords. And you're going to lay it over the center cords, and it's going to look like the letter P. So you're just basically making the loop of a letter P. Then you're going to take that left cord and you're going to lay it on top of the tail end of the cord you made the letter P with. So it's on top of it. It's over top of it. That's an important step. You're going to take that left cord and you're going to thread it diagonally underneath all of the cords. So I'm going to lift up a little bit here and thread it underneath all the cords. Sorry, it's hard to tell what's going on here. And that left cord is going to come up and out of the loop of the P. So I'm going to carefully pull that thread up and out the loop of the P. And as I start pulling that knot tight, I'll have to grab the left cord as well. So I'll have both the left and the right in my hands. I'll pull that knot up to the top and slowly tighten it as I get closer to the top. I'm not going to pull too tight. It doesn't need to be too tight. Once that knot is tied, you simply do that over and over again until your bracelet is done. So I'll zoom in here. If you totally get it, keep going. If you don't, watch again. So the right cord goes over. Looks like the shape of the letter P. Left cord is going to lay on top of the tail end of the other cord. And then that left cord is going to go underneath, diagonally up into that letter P loop. So I'm lifting up. The left cord is going under and then up and out the loop. I'm going to grab both of the knotting cords, pull up to the top and tighten, and there's my second knot. So I'm going to repeat this again. If you get it, skip ahead. If you don't, watch it again. Letter P, left cord over. The left cord goes underneath, diagonally, and up and out of the loop. Pull the knot up to the top and tighten. All right, so I did a little bit there, and I'm getting to a place where my spiral knot is starting to twist, and it's hard to use my right knotting cord to make that shape because it's flopped over to the left. If that happens to you as the spiral knot spirals, all you need to do is switch cords. So now the cord that is on the right, it flipped underneath. I'm simply going to do the same thing, but technically I'm using the alternate cord. So just keep going until you have as much as you'd like. You can go all the way to the end of the bracelet if you'd like, or if you'd like to add a bead, you can stop wherever you would like to add that bead. So when you're ready to add a bead, all you're going to do is take the tape off of those middle cords, and you're going to go ahead and just put the bead onto both of the cords. So you need to find a bead that has a big enough opening to fit onto your hemp cord, which can be kind of frustrating. Just slide the bead into place. You're going to retape those centered carrier cords. And then you're just going to keep tying the exact same knots you were tying. So you'll take the right cord, make it look like the letter P, left cord on top, underneath all the other ones, up and through the loop. This basically just secures the bead into place, and then you just keep going. When you reach the point where you're ready to end your bracelet, you can go ahead and untape it. Make sure it's long enough to fit around your wrist. This one is a little bit short, but I'm going to end it so you can see what it will look like. You're basically going to just take the last ends of those cords that you didn't use, and you're going to tie a knot that's the exact same as the knot you tied at the beginning. So you're just going to take that extra cord, you're going to wrap it around your fingers, hold it in place with your thumb, take the ends of all 4 cords and put them through the loop that your finger created. So move the fingers out of the way, take all 4 of the cords, put them through the loop, and tie it tight. If your cords are not long enough to do that, you'll have to watch my troubleshooting video. That'll also be posted. So give that knot a tug, make sure it's tight. And once that knot is tight, you should be able to cut the last remaining cords. When you do cut the cords on the end, please make sure you don't cut super close to the knot because the knot will come undone then, and it will be really actually impossible to tie. So this knot at the end should fit right into the loop that you made at the beginning. And there you have a bracelet.